Go.
Hello, so this is our presentation and it will be based on solutions to improve upon multicultural education. My name is Jacqueline.
I'm Devin.
My name's Karlyn.
And let's get going. Jacqueline.
Okay, so we first wanted to start off on how important the education system is, and a lot of people know that in order to have a successful future and to meet their goals in life, it's by going to school and college. And so many people who are going to school are not only from this country, but also from different countries. So we wanted to focus on a little bit about immigrants, students who migrated over here to this country, the United States. So the reason why they came to this country was to get the American dream. And what is the American dream? People from around the world come to this country to get the American dream, which is equality of opportunity, the highest aspirations, and where goals are able to be achieved by all Americans. Some of the quotes that I got from my sources was, education is the key to the American dream, and adjusting the way that we look at it will help ensure that more kids will graduate and want to continue to educate themselves for the rest of their lives. And what I kind of did with this quote was, with no support and equal opportunities or advantages for all students in our education, there's no way that they can get the American dream. Millions of United States born children and their families are affected by these policies, adding to pre-existing social and economic stresses with the fear of impending separation from families members. And the aftermath of Trump's zero tolerance policy has left behind broken families and communities riddled with fear. So students who obviously are not allowed to be here in the United States do fear this, that their families and them will be separated, because that has happened within these years. And so it is important for our education system to be that support where students can feel comfortable to go to school and just be open to the fact that they are from a different country. If our education system doesn't support or protect their students who deal with this, perhaps immigration, then they will most likely feel disconnected, scared, and alone. Students should feel wanted and accepted and given reassurance that their educators and classmates are there to help them no matter what. Okay. Another quote that I got, let's go more into it. Educators and teachers and counselors have an important role of making sure that everyone is aware of what is happening in our country. And by teaching and educating students all the way to help their classmates is by showing support during their hard times. For immigrant students, ethnic school segregation means less exposure to the receiving society and fewer opportunities of learning the language. So ethnic segregation is considered as categorizing and labeling students based on their race and background. Students tend to be limited because of not knowing how to speak or understand English, so they are limited with opportunities or given a certain extent because of coming from another country. I just think that it's important that our education system shouldn't limit students who come from a different country. It's important that they make them feel important, that they have the potential of being able to be involved in our country and be a part of these opportunities no matter what. In order to bridge the achievement gap, we have a few diversity as an asset, not a disadvantage, providing an individualized approach to learning and setting expectations higher for all students and teachers alike will help ensure that students have the same opportunity for success. Raising the bar for students can be achieved by pushing them with harder classwork, encouraging a cooperative learning environment, and allowing multiple skill sets to come through. Diversity shouldn't be seen as a disadvantage or issue for students. Students should have the goals and students should have goals and feel like they have the potential to succeed in their life and education for their future. And educators must show support, motivation, and inspiration and guidance to support by providing as much resources as they can. And these resources can be, giving them a way for them to attend maybe after school programs, tutoring, meeting with their counselors, or just overall being able to feel like they have not only their teachers, but their classmates to ask for any type of help or guidance, just to have that, be able to, for them to get that reassurance that they're not alone and that they are capable of learning so much than what they know right now. Go ahead.
As Jacqueline kind of stepped on with the American dream, we kind of got to get to this perception of multicultural education. And whether this stems from poor teaching of the curriculum, to districts who try to sanitize the real truth, all these real types of distractions hinder a student's ability to understand the society we live in. I think Angelina Castago, in her book, in her chapter, Engaging Multicultural Education, Safety and Sameness and Drawing Out Differences, I feel like is a really great book in analyzing multicultural education as a whole, because usually multicultural education is like a buzzword that means like, okay, we're having a very inclusive education that includes lots of perspectives on the subject, when in reality most teachers in practice kind of sensitize the truth. Like, as Costanzo states, the state of education that I advocate for, or as they say, like, engage, it says they analyze the effectiveness of multicultural education on the basis of providing equity to students rather than equality. Because I think that's what a big thing is with multicultural education, is that we are trying to bring equity to try and lessen the achievement gap. Because if we preach equality, the achievement gap is just going to stay the same and not institute progress. And so Castago actually Castago actually makes a great point with her version of what her ideal multicultural education is, which is a kind of education that advocates for social action, which focuses on equity, culture, and power by requiring high academic expectations for all students, centering multiple perspectives, cultures, people, and worldviews in the curriculum, and equipping students with an understanding of issues of power, privilege, and oppression, as well as ideas about how they might educate against whiteness. And this topic of whiteness is actually she actually draws out on this, where most teachers have a genuine curiosity about diversity, but they engage the issues in nice ways that never actually threaten inequity. Dancing between valuing sameness on one hand and difference on the other hand is a common manifestation of whiteness, in her own words. So I think this, when she's talking about this, it's when we kind of have to, it's basically like we can't white-splain cultures in a way. So we have to get rid of our unconditional bias and be able to understand what these cultures are going through in order to provide a better, equitable education instead of an equal education. And one of her center quotes about this is power blind sameness and colorblind difference. So like when we're talking about other cultures, we try to make ourselves think we understand our culture when in reality we don't. So that's on the job of teachers. We have to figure out how to get rid of our cultural learning that we've always learned and dive into other cultures and see their decision-making process. And that's how we can improve society upon that.
Okay, hi. So I talked about why we need multicultural education in our education system. And one of the articles, this is just some of the things they said. It says, well, to answer is what we need. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Sorry. This type of curriculum exposes students to various cultures through discussions, activities, and discussions. It also allows for students to identify physical differences between the desks they share with other students in the classrooms by oh my gosh, I can't talk. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. How do you say that word? Oh my God.
Implementing.
Wait, how do you say it?
Implementing.
Implementing, sorry, through a multicultural curriculum at a young age nurtures students to reflect on their cultural with lots of pride the older they get. It implants individualism, patience, and liberalism in each and every one of the students. It fosters friendships, improves communication skills, and encourages interactions. I also believe that it's important for all the children to know that where they come from and what language they speak is something to be proud of, because a lot of the times I feel like people that do come from different countries feel like ashamed of the language that they speak because it's different from English. But I feel like as like a future educator, they should know how important like include oh my gosh, I can't talk. Inclusivity. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. I'm so sorry. Anyways, at first it can be difficult for adapting to an environment of learning because it can be new, but for every teacher, I believe that the goal should be to make every child feel as comfortable as possible. Sorry, I'm like shaking. 9 ways to implement multicultural education in the classroom. So the first way would be being able to understand your students. It is important to know and understand the cultural backgrounds of all the students you teach. That way you know the culture so you can address and a lesson plan accordingly to make sure you like hit all of what they believe in or whatever. One way to understand your students is by interviewing them the first day of school or ask teachers that they've had in a previous year in school. A second way would be to identify their strengths and weaknesses. As a teacher who will be implementing multicultural education into the class, it is good to know these things about your students because you will know how to eliminate them. You can find this information about your students by frequently assessing them with their performance in class. The third way is encouraging your students to share real life experiences. One way you can do this is by organizing casual sessions where students share their past stories and experiences with each other to help them open up, relate with each other, as well as building strong communication skills. The fourth way would be to organize open discussions with the students. One way you could do this is letting the students select a cultural or social issue, and holding an open discussion on them allows them to share their thoughts about this issue, be better listeners, and to be educated about the issues faced by other communities. And then the fifth way is planning group activities for your students. By planning group activities, it focuses on teamwork and collaborations to help overcome cultural barriers, increase student involvement, and embrace cultural differences amongst each other. The sixth way is putting together a cultural food swap. Occasionally, ask the students to bring their cultural food for lunch and then swap it with another to help them embrace and know various dishes from different cultures. The seventh way is encourage storytelling. Every household has some folk tales that are told to its children. Have the students maybe share their cultural stories and draw more lessons from each one of them. The eighth way would be holding a multicultural seminars and events, bringing in guest speakers from different cultural backgrounds by organizing seminars and events to help boost multicultural education at its best. And then the final one is the ninth way would be to schedule a monthly culture day where students where they wear things from their cultures to like embrace who they are. And yeah, those are our sources.
All right. And thank you. Great.
Oh my God.